Hi, I'm Ms. Shoemaker, and today is day 53 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and celebrating myself. So, yay, I made it to day 53. Um, trying to decide. So, today I was just thinking about numbers and math because I'm good at math, or I used to be good at math. I don't want to brag and say I'm really good at math. I'm okay with numbers. I used to be much better at remembering birthdays and things like that. I think the older I get, or maybe the more engrossed I get into my trauma and my depression, I forget things. But the more I come out of my depression and things, the more I remember dates and numbers and times and things. So I like numbers, and I like doing like logic puzzles and things like that. It's just fun for me. It's kind of like relaxing to me. It actually puts me to sleep sometimes. So, and I do try to do math in my head, but I always do it better if I just handwrite it because that's just how I do things. Um, but I also have a favorite number, and my favorite number is 6. I don't know why I have a favorite number. I mentioned that to someone once, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have a favorite number." Like it never even occurred to them to have a favorite number. I think I have a favorite number because of Bert and Sesame Street, and his song. And of course, my favorite number is 6, and that's probably why. But I really like that song. Funny thing is, this is my little sister. That's her favorite number for the same reason. So I just think that's hilarious. Amazing the influence that television has, especially when you're little. Anyway, so I just decided to celebrate that I like numbers today, and that um, doing math was something that was always easy for me in school, and um, doing math, figuring out math and numbers and how much money I need to do or make or whatever. It always works for me. But the one thing that doesn't always work for me doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It's one of those numbers things that I was like, it doesn't add up, but I'm grateful that it works anyway. Because I pay my tithing, and I go to church, and I go to work, and I do the best that I can to pay my bills. And I do the math in my head, and I'm like, there's no way for me to have enough money to pay for everything. And then I go to pay for stuff, and I still have money left, and I'm like, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but it's like, or I think that I'm short, and then I go to pay for things, and I'm like, and the money's there, and I'm not short money. So to me, those are little miracles because I know how to do math. I added it up in my head, and I've written it down. I'm like, it just doesn't add up. Used a calculator, it doesn't add up, and the money is still there somehow. And I was like, I don't know how God does that. That is that's a numbers game I would love to learn. But it always makes me grateful for that too, to be able to see what I see in my limited abilities and how I do things, and then somehow God just always makes up the difference. There's always that extra something that just shows up somehow, and it's just enough. Um, and I'm just super grateful for that, for all the time that it works that way. And I also am grateful for the little reminders of all the times that it works that way, because I have a tendency to stress about it, and I overstress things, and I worry way too much, and I have no control over it. And then when it comes time to whatever, it all works out. So I'm grateful for that. And it's a numbers thing that doesn't, I like numbers. I like things that add up and make sense. And that's one of those things that doesn't always add up and make sense, but I'm grateful that it always works out one way or the other. Not really sure how that goes with my celebrating numbers, but I just think about that when I'm thinking about numbers and paying bills and keeping track of things like that. So having to do a lot of things that has to do with numbers right now, and bills, and how much money I have to have, and all of these things. So I figured, rather than stressing about all of it, I would celebrate that I am good with numbers, and that I can at least figure it out. And it helps me to visualize it by writing it down. So if I write it all down and say, this is what I've got, this is what I paid, this is what I owe, this is what, and it helps me to see the numbers. And somehow seeing the numbers just is relaxing to me. It calms me down. It's like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is what I need. And then it makes it seem like I can do this, I can do this. That doesn't always work when I write down other things. I mean, if I say, this is what I'm going to clean, this is what I'm going to do, and then it just still looks overwhelming to me. It's like, okay, that's too much. Writing down my to-do list always seems too much. But numbers, for some reason, I write those down and I can see them, and it doesn't matter how big that number is. I'm like, I can do that. I feel better now that it's written down, that I know I have a concrete idea as to how far I have to go and an idea as to how long it's going to take to get there, and I can do that. So I don't know what it is about numbers, but I like numbers, and numbers are calming to me, and just being able to see stuff numbers wise written down is often helpful to me. So or, sometimes it stresses me out a little bit. I'm like, well, there's no way that's going to happen. But other times I'm like, okay, well, I will do my best and God will make the rest work out somehow. He always does. So I am grateful for that, and grateful for numbers. Kind of fun to celebrate numbers, especially since 6 is my favorite number. I wish this was like on a day 6 of something, but day 53 doesn't really go with numbers. So those odd prime number things, I think. I don't know, 53 might actually be divisible of something, and if it is, it's not a prime number. I'm not going to look that up and figure it out right now. I just know 50 is divisible of things, 52 and 55. I just don't know if 53 is. 54 is too. But I don't know about 51 or 53. I don't think 51 is. It might be. It might be. Anyway, those things don't matter. Those are just the random things in my head, and I'm thinking about numbers and days and all of that fun stuff. So that's all I have for today. Short little video celebrating numbers. So if you like these videos, hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And please share with me if you have some fun ways to celebrate things, or ideas and things you think I should celebrate about myself. That might help me too, because I still have another 47 days to come up with stuff to celebrate. I'm amazed I made it to 53. 47 would be nice. Anyway, and I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe do some writing.